what it is, yo. What's up? Anywho, welcome. It's the Daily Squeeze. Brian Farr, VP Stock Analytics with Stock Dads. Another new lifetime high on the SPY. What else is new? But as of right now, NASDAQ slightly down 0.9%. Got a lot of stuff happening in the post-market session with earnings from AMD, Microsoft, Google. We'll get into that in just a second. A little bit of a choppy day, a little bit messy. Again, it's just a busy week, and that's just the way the cookie is crumbling right now. We had some earnings pre-market from UPS. Profits are down on UPS. They did not deliver the package too well on that. Mishandled things, cutting 12,000 jobs. It's tough to be UPS right now. We also got earnings from General Motors, and it's good to be a gas engine right now. Apparently, that might be the thing. They're not going anywhere. Maybe the sweet spot is the hybrid models. Who knows? But yeah, GM, surprising there, looking pretty good. We had some key economic data come out at 10 o'clock, 30 minutes into the market open. We saw consumer confidence in line. Cool. Higher than the last month, but we also got the JOLTS job openings data. The job openings surged 101,000 and to the highest level in about 3 months, to about 9.03 million, give or take. And we saw an increase in the professional and business services and a decrease in the wholesale trades. The South also saw the largest increase of those job openings. So pretty big and very strong economic data coming out there in the pre-market session. It was relatively quiet for the rest of the session. Tomorrow we have FOMC. That's the big ticket item. We also have ADP non-farm payroll employment change coming out tomorrow. So a lot of goodies and more earnings to come. So yeah, welcome to the Daily Squeeze. Let's get into things, shall we? All right, let's just kind of jump into it because there's a good bit to cover, and hopefully I cover all of it. First of all, we'll just start out with looking at this incredibly magnificent SPY chart here. As you can see, a very choppy session. As you can see, there's some shenanigans going on during the post-market session. But yeah, overall, choppy market. SPY closes relatively flat on the day. The NASDAQ a little bit more off the beaten path there. We also had crude oil up about 1%. The Dow closed green on the day. IWM was red. About split half on the sector, so nothing too crazy. Semiconductors took a little bit of a breather today. That probably had in part to do with, why the NASDAQ was taking more of a slip. But yeah, NASDAQ a little bit off the wall here, down, what was that? Down 0.67% at the close of the bell. And as you can see, we are slipping further into the abyss. I wouldn't say abyss because it's not too bad. I mean, it's not terrible. We'll take a peek here at those earnings reports here. But yeah, a few day trades today. We took some SPY puts that didn't go out too well. We got stopped out on those. The NASDAQ, we did do some QQQ puts though on this breakdown of 426. Down we went, had a nice little win there. We also took care of some swing trades. Excuse me, I don't know why I got stuck there. Took care of some swing trades. We had JP Morgan. If we can pull that chart up, not Philip Morris. There we go. Sometimes I get ahead of myself on typing, so it just kind of goes crazy. JP Morgan, a beautiful win, hit both of my targets. All I wanted to do here on JP Morgan was pretty much fill this wick, and it's looking pretty good. If we get some continuation tomorrow after FOMC, I'm actually looking on to take a new swing position here on JP Morgan. It's got great structure. It's got bullish momentum. All the signals look pretty good here. But yeah, we reached both of our targets here, and that's all I wanted with JP Morgan. I took those to 62% on the February 170 calls from $4.35 all the way up to $7. Nice little win. Our second win on the swing trades came in with CSX. Toot toot. CSX hitting our main targets here. We had this nice consolidation area, very tight for several weeks here, almost a month-long consolidation. Had earnings last week, finally broke out of this 35 zone. 1 point move. It's not the most exciting name on the face of the planet, but hey, we trade the setups and money's money, right? So off we go. Those got up to about 40%. We took those from 90 cents all the way to about $1.25 there. So pretty good stuff there for CSX. I'm not going to complain about that by no means. But yeah, looking pretty good there for CSX. All right. So that covers the day trades and the swing trades. I'm not putting on any new swing trades for now. There are setups that I am looking at and observing that we'll get into tomorrow, but I definitely want to wait until the FOMC gets out of the way and Powell. Now, when it comes to the FOMC, as we've been saying quite a good bit here, we are not expecting any kind of rate hikes or rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. What's going to be the key here is their language. Are they going to be dovish or are they going to be hawkish? How is Powell going to portray, what he wants to say? We also need, maybe some guidance, maybe what do they have to say about the potential of the March rate cuts, because there still is that probability there that the market is pricing in. So we want to be aware of that. And just to see what their overall guidance is, where they see this market or where they see the economy at. We know the economy is very strong. It's almost like a very fine balance that they are walking on right now. And as far as we know, nothing has essentially been broken. So there's no necessary need for the Fed to cut rates. So it's going to be more so of, what does Powell have to say? And we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get into some of these earnings reports here. Starting out with Google. Sure, let's start out with Google. Google, they've had a pretty impressive year, up 8% on the year, and we were pretty much looking for improvements in their digital advertisements from their search and YouTube ads. So let's pull up this earnings report here. Not the earnings report, but just the chart in general. Let me see. I got my notes down here. Yeah. Google cloud revenue, $9.19 billion. So they did have some revenue growth of about 13.5%. Their operating margins up 27.5%. Search and other revenues about 48.2. We'll see what they say in the conference call. Their guidance is going to be very crucial here. When Google, when they do their conference calls, they are very blunt and straight to the point. So be on the lookout for that. But I would think that, the YouTube ad revenue, it was 9.2 billion. Maybe they could probably do a little bit better there for my blood, but we'll see what they have to say as far as that goes. So yeah, Google, not too shabby there. Microsoft, they also had a narrow beat here on Microsoft. We saw that their Azure and other cloud service revenues are up 30%, so pretty good stuff there. AMD though, I'm not going to get in too deep into this. You can do your research on this. I got my notes and all that kind of good stuff, but I want y'all to do your homework here too. AMD, they posted an inline, and you can probably get these results too. So inline, and their sales was 6.2 billion versus 6.12 billion, and they're kind of hanging in there. Their guidance was okay. We know that when Intel reported their guidance, it was not so great. So AMD's already kind of doing better on that front. They see their guidance to be 5.1 to 5.7 billion. The consensus was 5.28 billion. So, we'll call it even like, in the middle ground, 5.4 billion, give or take. I did see another headline where the consensus guidance was about 5.75 billion. If that's the case, then it was a slight guidance miss, so maybe that's where we're getting there. The gaming segment revenue down 17% year over year, but their data center revenue is up 38%. And like I said, on all this, it's going to be all about the guidance anyway. That's what I'm kind of looking out for right now. It's a little bit early to kind of discuss these things, so we'll just leave it at that. Pay attention to those earnings calls, and by the time this is uploaded, maybe some of this is already kind of taken care of, and we'll have some more clues to everything. But I am curious to see what Lisa Su has to say, especially with those MI300 chips, as far as their AI chips goes. But we know that NVIDIA is kind of the king when it comes to all that kind of stuff, but AMD is, does pretty well themselves. So we'll wait for all that to come out. Other than that, so we had Google, Microsoft, AMD, Starbucks, doing its things. So yeah, that was it in a nutshell. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Speaking of AMD, they're up 134% over the past 12 months. So that's nothing to, sweat about. So we'll see what happens with these conference calls, and we'll get at it from there. Like I said, I am keeping an eye on certain setups. I just want to wait till after the FOMC noise is taken care of for sure before we get into anything heavy. I am still holding some shop swings. I'm still looking for a breakout. We did have a slight gap down today, but overall it's holding structure, and we need to clear back above this 83.20 mark, and I'm looking for a target of 87.72. I'm also holding some Lilly debit spreads here, looking for this to break out into fresh highs above 647 all the way up. Target one's going to be that 660, but like I said, I got debit spreads, so it's a little bit easier to deal with. But all right, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you had a great session. Good job on the swing trades. Good job on the day trades. We lost the first one, but the QQQ we won, and we also hit our targets for our SPY calls on the second trip with SPY. So we overall pretty solid day. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, there was one setup that I was wanting to get into, but it ran without me, and I just had to wave at it and say bye. MPC, Marathon Petroleum Group, had earnings today, actually breaking out into lifetime highs. Lady Leverage was able to get into a debit spreads, and I was like, well, you know what, I'll just wait until later on in the day and see where this thing closes. And yeah, she just kept going, and I had to kick myself in the face on this and just look at it and say, yep, there she goes. Not gonna chase, not gonna FOMO. It's already close to my first price target anyway, so I would have to wait for a dip buy, maybe a retracement back down, and see if we can get into a position here. But I really like MPC. PSX is another one that looks really good if you want to keep an eye on that as far as the energy names goes. So yeah, pretty good stuff here. Congrats if you got into some of that MPC though. All right, tomorrow's a new day. We got plenty of stuff to deal with tomorrow with the Fed, and we got the ADP data. Tomorrow morning we have earnings from Boeing, Phillips 66, and MasterCard, and Thermo Fisher. Don't forget about that one. After the close, we got earnings from Qualcomm, Aflac, and yeah. And then Thursday it gets even more crazier with earnings from Amazon and Apple and Meta. Why not get them all done? Like I said, it's the Super Bowl week for stocks. All right, for the stock market at least. All right, I think that covers everything. Y'all have a good evening. I'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully we'll see where this market wants to go. We'll see where all that guidance takes us. All right, guys, take care. See you next time.